Those who do not know me, my name is Billita. I'm sure you all must be wondering why serious talks at this point of time. But serious talks are also required because it's about life. Life, according to me, is like a river. It might drag you along, or you need to surf. So choice is yours. You need to make a choice. Whether you're going to drag along or whether you're going to learn to surf. The early part of my life, I felt that this river was just dragging me along. But in one moment, that one moment which made me feel that I need to learn to surf. I was actually born as a premature baby when I was 7 months old. And the doctor had given up on me. I was incubated and I survived. And definitely I survived, I think, to just flow through this rough and rugged path. My earliest memories, I was very happy with my family. My father was everything to me. I was extremely fond of him. And I remember holding my little hand, holding his index finger and walking all over so happily. So that's the childhood memory, the happiest memory that I've hold. The first blow came to me when I was 6 years old, when I was separated from my father. My mother decided to part ways with him and start life with another man. Wife and the child missing suddenly. Can you imagine how it would have played on my father? It's not easy. I felt I was in complete darkness. And I realized I had to spend my childhood days in a strange place. Then I was admitted in class 2 when I was 7. And slowly I was getting adapted to the environment, the new environment. The next blow struck me when I was 9 years old. I was in 4th standard. It was actually a bright, sunny day, and I was just getting ready to school. And my stepfather gave me a letter. I just went to school. I went to the washroom and I just read the letter because I was told to read it private and not to disclose it with my mother. I still remember that moment. When I read that letter, I was trembling all over. It was a love letter given by a 30-plus-year-old man to a 9-year-old kid. Yes, you heard it right. It was a love letter. I just got back home and I handed over the letter to my mom because I trusted her. And she read the letter and she said that she's going to take care of everything. I thought she would be my pillar of support and protection, but in vain. I used to plead not to leave me alone with that man. And I had to undergo the bad test time and again. And slowly I lost hope that my mom would even know something about it. I was trying to grapple inside, I was grappling inside, I was crying inside. All I could do is I could just stand in front of God and cry. For my mom, it was survival. It was not easy for her also. If I come to this level and think about that situation at that point of time. But she would have definitely handled it better. No doubts on that. And furthermore, she was blindly in love with that man. It was my school which taught me values. And for whatever I'm standing here, with whatever values and discipline I hold in life, it's because of my school. It was a place of refuge to me. During vacation, all the kids around would be so happy because the vacations are there coming around, right? But I would be the only kid, rooting inside. How will I be able to, spend the days at home. Apart from child abuse, I was not allowed to socialize. I was not allowed to learn cycling, singing, dancing, which I was actually very fond of. It was actually as bad as being in a prison. It was a life of imprisonment as a child. I kept asking my mom about whereabouts of my father, but she blatantly lied that he passed away. And the worst thing that tore me apart was I was holding on to one picture of my father, which was very close to me. She literally snatched from me, she tore it and she just threw it, which I will definitely never forgive her for life. I was, as a child, very timid. I never used to speak to people, my friends. I never had many friends actually. I was a total loner. Even at home, I used to have my desk and I used to just sit down there and just listen to music or just keep, writing something. Drawing, I was good at drawing, so I was just used to sit and draw. And I collected all my strength and I went straight with courage and I went and told my mom, if she was not going to do something about the current situation, I'm going to go and talk to my teachers in school. And I think they are going to help me out with this. Then she decided to get me married when I was 15 years old. I did not question. I just went by what she said because I just wanted to get out of that house. Even with my marriage, I felt she made money because she made my stepfather to buy a lot of jewelry and she secured for a cell, which till date I have not seen. I was glad that I was going to be out of that house. The day of my wedding, I felt so happy that I felt like an innocent prisoner walking out of the prison after many years of imprisonment. This did not happen just one day. It happened to me for many years. We know that even one day when we experience a bad touch, how we feel, right? And it happened to be for many years. So the third blow came to me. I got tired and I went to my husband's place. The third blow struck me immediately. It did spare me a minute. I realized that my husband did not have any income. He was addicted to alcohol and smoking. And he was gambling. There was no ambition in life. Worst was my father-in-law and his older brother. They were also addicted to alcohol. But still, they were at least bringing some money to the family. It was a home filled of quarrels and fights and not love, understanding and support. Even before all this could sink in, I delivered my first daughter, my older one. But that was definitely a blessing in disguise. I finished my 10th exams because I got married after my 9th standard. That one good thing which my mom did was she put into my head that, I need to study well and I need to be independent with, as an independent woman with finances, financially independent as well. So I did my 10th exams privately and I scored 432 out of 500. I did not do my 11th because since it's private, it's directly, I could do my 12th. So I did my 12th standard the next year as well. And I scored 1,029 out of 1,200. Because I was quite determined to do that at that point of time. And then I came across an ad in the paper about 6 months diploma in cosmetology. So I thought I should secure it, and I did earn a diploma in cosmetology. So, and further to that, I did my graduation and my post-graduation. I did an MBA. And with a child to support, at 17, I stepped out of the house to work as a pedicurist. I used to touch everybody's feet, and I used to clean it, and I used to beautify it. So that was my job. That was my first job which I started off with. Once I started working, my husband started physically abusing me, physically and mentally, for money. Because where will they get money, right? Delivered my second one when I was 21. And days went by. Every day I was like, I think I was getting pressured inside. And at 83, I decided I cannot move forward. I thought to myself that this is it. And more than this, I definitely cannot do anything about my situation. So I decided to commit suicide. I attempted suicide. I was in ICU for 3 days, and I survived again. When I opened my eyes, I saw my little ones beside me. Their eyes welled up with tears. And that moment I decided I am going to somehow surf. I'm going to somehow make it for my little ones. I moved out of the house with my daughters. I stayed alone for 2 years. I filed a divorce, and I got a divorce because I didn't want my kids to grow in that atmosphere. So I took that decision, and I lived alone for 2 years. Events which happened after that, you know how, saying a lady with 2 daughters cannot live alone. That I realized after 2 years, which made me take a call, and I remarried for the second time. My husband is a very good human being, but he could not achieve financial success. But for me, I used to aspire big. I wanted to give the best for my daughters. So I had to take charge. I took charge. I said I'm going to somehow make big in life and give the best for my daughters. So from pedicurist, I became a beauty manager. Then slowly a beauty therapist first, and then a beauty manager. And then I became a co-manager, a center manager, area head. I had a regional manager handling the entire region, and I had a team of 20 people managing me. So I brought in some financial stability for my family. Series of events have left a mark on my older one. She's single. I may not do a bachelor in business administration, but she's doing very well for herself. She is in a senior position. My younger one, she did her BTech, and I somehow pushed her to go to US, do a master's, and she secured a master's degree, and she's working in UX, married last year. And I brought in financial stability for myself too. Whatever I could secure for myself, I have done. I have emerged as a confident, self-reliant woman after all this. And that is what has brought me to ACD also here. As a woman striving for peace and joy, right now I just want to give love and be loved, because I've never felt love in the past. As a child, even as an adult, I have never felt a true unconditional love. So I strive to see love from different souls around me, and I also ensure to give that kind of love to people. When I look back, when I reflect, I have 7 takeaways. The word lessons is an acronym for me. L stands for learning from mistakes. We all should definitely learn from our mistakes, what we do in life. E stands for embracing the change. Acceptance. We need to accept whatever is happening around us, and that will definitely put us to peace. S stands for staying positive and having a zest for life. That's very important. The next S stands for self-love. We need to love ourselves. O stands for observant about the physical and mental wellness. We need to be observant about our physical and mental wellness, which is extremely imperative, I feel. N stands for navigate mindfully. We need to definitely navigate our situations mindfully, and we need to be calm and composed when we're making decisions. The next S stands for setting goals and following our dreams. So whatever little dreams I had as a child, like learning singing, dancing, all that was really dear to me when I was a child, but I never had an opportunity to do it. So slowly I'm trying to, now that my kids are, my responsibilities are somewhat, maybe 90% it's all over. I'm focusing on myself to relive my childhood of whatever I have not done. I'm emphasizing on that. So I hope this word lessons and the acronym helps you also. And thank you all for sharing my journey. I really love all of you. My heart.